My name is Dontez Lindsay. I am the general manager of Ducks Trading LLC, as well as the lead trainer of StockCraft. I'm not a financial advisor, nor a CPA, and the content I create is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I trade in my account, and everything I do is hypothetical in nature because it doesn't happen in your account. My experience with trading is not typical, nor does it guarantee that similar results will be obtained by you. I am merely sharing my opinion with no guarantee of gains or losses in investments. Remember, day trading can be extremely risky. You should be prepared to lose all the funds that you use for day trading. In particular, you should not fund day trading activities with retirement savings, student loans, second mortgages, emergency funds, funds set aside for purposes such as education or home ownership, or funds required to meet your living expenses. Further, certain evidence indicates that investments less than $50,000 will significantly impair the ability of a day trader to make a profit. Of course, an investment of $50,000 or more will no way guarantee a success. With that out of the way, let's get into the content. Good morning, guys. Hey. I got distracted trying to find some guy that made like a couple million doing oil or something. Yeah, I'll help him after the stream. But what am I doing? Yeah, so yesterday at the close, there was a stock that went up to $25, and it had something to do with a merger, and it had to go to court, and something about the merger, it was really hard to separate after it was approved in court. That was LION. It was a stock that ran the same day and in the same way as OCEA. Now, when OCEA went up, it went from like $4 all the way to 26. And with Lion, which is LION, when this one ran, it dropped just like OCEA that same day and at the same time around like 11 o'clock. At the time, I didn't see it because it didn't have enough volume, so it didn't even meet my filters. Yesterday, we had Lion move again, and it just went up to 25 in the after hours. I wanted to see that specific post that I saw. It had something about the story. I just wanted to show you which one it was. Should have liked it. Okay, merger. Yeah, but main thing is you just need to know that it is a part of the recent trend, which has been SPACs. Now, I didn't see anything on dilution tracker. I couldn't tell why that is, like if it was too new or like whatever. The only thing they had was the market cap, and like there was nothing else. Finviz calls it like 9 million, and the market cap was a lot smaller than this yesterday. It was like 80. So we've tripled since that point, which shows you how far we've come, because every time you flip on the market cap, that's supposed to be 100% extension. You gain 100% on the price. So this was like, it's pretty low. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Lion is that it trades at low volume. So we had no clue if it was going to continue today. So I'm going to let that one come up. But other than that, I'm just waiting to see that one develop and see if something else pops up. We do have two other tickers that are over 100%, but ONCS, that one looks like it has it's a biotech with like a microfloat. So we don't really want to do anything with that unless it has a really heavy resistance. Like I'm talking about really heavy. I sounded more like Scottish in my head. Didn't work out. And then watch more Conor McGregor or something. I said Scottish. Yeah, we go back to bed. Now, this one has a market cap of 3 million, which is extremely low. Float at 2.5 million, according to Dilution Tracker. But you go to FinViz, that's the one that I normally use for like consistency. Other than that, there's also this ticker called TKRA that it was originally like 50 cents. And you've probably seen it before, but it got priced by some analysts for being like $32. We don't know how that's going to affect that. So I'm going to just keep that one on my watch list just to see if that prediction will stay true in like a week. Because that was like a potential buy on my part just because the analyst said it. And I got that from like some other YouTuber or something. Because I was looking up reasons. It won't even save the ticker. Okay, I don't know what happened, but it's fine. It was outside of our normal stuff anyway. But it was the same. Yeah, we're gonna wait for something to pop up. But for now, I really want to see what happens on Lion. This one did a perk inside of the pre-market, and it came all the way back. Now, remember last time we had something like this, it would have been the one that went up to 80. The only difference is, this one spiked up to 25 in the after hours. It didn't do it like intraday. So we have to find some like support and stability and stuff like that. So if this runs up again, it's probably going to stay under like 30 today. And potentially will run up in the after hours again. Because mergers are like that. Especially if you merge with someone a lot stronger, like Apple, Google, and etc., or partner with Snoop Dogg. The main thing is when I look at Lion, it doesn't give me like easy information to gather. So I've been looking at Twitter for more information. And, you can't tell what's real and what's fake. But this is the new thing, which is this article that talks about the approval of the merger. And the main thing is you have to remember in this last week and a half, we've been talking only about SPAC, like those space related tickers. And the same day that OCEA went up, this one went up. And remember, OCEA is actually the extension of LU and A. So they're all connected. It all comes back full circle. So if this one goes up to 100, it's not really a coincidence. The main thing is you're just trying to find a thesis that supports whether this one is a buy and you want to get in now, or whatever you want to do. The only biggest turnoff for this, or like turn away, red flag, whatever you want to call it, is this is only 150,000 right now. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. There's no liquidity. Like so whatever you do on that is going to be a really big leap of faith. And I don't know if shorting would be out of the question for everyone. but I still think it's something I want to keep on my list, just to see how it performs. Because if something drastic happens, it goes to 1,000 or something. Oh no, I think we need more information. But other than that, I haven't looked at the IONU. But let me. Where's the chat? Oh, there you are. Still not popping up. Yeah, I was having some trouble with my internet this morning. It's really, really windy outside. So if anything happens, I have a awesome excuse. No, anybody ask where my hair went, I blame the wind. How's it doing? I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday to finish off the trade. You remember that time I was talking about only shameless people would borrow again after they borrowed in the morning? Well, I borrowed cash in the morning at $5 per share for those borrows. And here's the development throughout the day. All right, looks like you only can see 3 of those. If we do this. And I'll put something up over here. Yeah, it's good. See if anything pops up. Yeah, but main thing is my final average was around 3.5 and I covered at 3.05. Max profit potential on it was 2.9, which means if I top ticked and bottom ticked this, I could have max received 25%. I had 12% out of all that, or at least that's what my stats say when I plugged them in. It traded 100 million volume, even though I kind of had a glitch at the end of the day that said like it was like 87 million. Yeah, but the main thing is this one was a very healthy type 2 bounce short, and it did one of the variations that we were looking for. And if you see how I sized in, remember I went in half of my cash before, which for my normal position, that was about like a fourth to almost a fifth of what I would want it to go in on a small account, which is like pretty heavy, but in a safer space. And so once I had my average up to 350, where the normal patient shorts would be, it'd actually be where the normal chasing patient shorts would be, slash the ones that waited for confirmation. I was confident enough to ride this the rest of the day. And, even after I got on the confirmation, I added more on the second entry. When you see these when you see these extra red candles, how do I scoot over? Okay. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I brought my average from from 323 to 350. And I saw there was a lot of rejection around 3. So I started sizing out like 300 shares at a time. My total amount of shares going in were 1,800. And so I covered a 6 at the time. And towards 1 o'clock, where I knew there's supposed to be like another rush of people coming in, I just took it. Like I took everything off. Then about 5 minutes later, then we started the uptrend because other people were in the same groupthink, Quaker style time to get out. Like they all thought the same thing. So it was a good trade, and it gave me some ideas on how I can trade bounce shorts in the future. Main thing is this first trade in the pre-market, it gave me a good idea of like a feel for the stock. Like before I went in, I already knew like how strong it was, and like I was like, fight the man. This is the 90%. I'm gonna go against the other side, and I'm gonna go in like heavy compared to like what I should be going in technically, just in case this falls early. But it also gave me room to have a decent size. Like this kind of management is what people with extremely large size have to do, because they can't get all their position in like one place without doing like StarCraft level like clicking and managing on multiple laptops and screens and brokers. But yeah, it starts with like a starter. You feel the strength of the stock, feel the strength of the buyers, you're testing stuff, and then you start adding in size on confirmation. Now there they all look together, but there was actually space of like 30 minutes at least between those. Yeah, just wanted to talk about that. So finally made a win, but it was a small win technically. I only got half of what the reward was. So it's still not as cool. But if I did that like 10 times, I wouldn't be mad. Okay, I would kind of be, because this one didn't drop the full reward. It was supposed to go to like, for me, 260. Steven said like 250. And the minimum I expected was 280. Yeah, now. Other than that, don't have any other thing to say for now. So let's figure out more stuff about Lion. Also, I don't know where the chat is. Like the live chat. Oh, there you are. I guess I just had to click it. LHDX, cheap but interesting. Did you meet Steven from uni? No, I met him from high school. Morning. Exhausted from CDIO yesterday. Exhausting day for CDIO. Yeah, it took forever to drop. What's this one he's talking about? LHD. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. You're right. Triple from the close. Yeah, as soon as I saw like under $1 and the word health in the stock and on SSR, you wouldn't catch me shorting it at all. Probably long, especially going strong into the close like this. You would expect some type of like a stepping kind of pattern, but unshamed trader. Weren't you the name is shame before? But whenever I see a trader change their name, I expect they had a name changing trade. Hey, I see OKYO. That's up. Last time OKYO came up, it was around the same time that Lion and OCA and all the other stuff came up. Like, because they were all parabolic shorts. So I have one more trade this week until Friday. Let me see if I can find the news on this. Because if it's something cool, I might try to long it. Yeah, I should wait. Yeah, I should definitely wait. Might get something else. But I didn't even get anything. Oh yeah, by the way, is my mic cutting out and off? Because it's like, I think it was Monday. I turned the gate down about like 7. I forgot what the unit is, but I opened the gate a little longer, just in case, like when I start speaking a lot softer, and it opens a little less. Because what happens is OBS, they kind of reset my stats and delete some scenes and sources and stuff like that all the time. But I'm always playing with stuff in my, what do you call that? In my file explorer. So I can't blame them. Yeah, but the main thing is okay yo. Looks like it's under 1 million float, and market cap is like 50 million. So it's a micro float. I don't have any information on its offering. That was like before, but there is some type of warrants at 3.57, but we already saw this one go up a lot. Okay, there's more warrants. They're all at 3.57. And right now we're at 3.22. But if we go back just a few days ago, this went from 2 to 7. And so those warrants are probably what brought it back down to like 3.2 that day. Now, if it goes back up, is there a consolidation that we could be using? Is the question we should be asking. Let's go to StockCraft. ONCS bound short, but light resistance, about 24 million on November 29th. It was crazy. LOL. Hey, it must have been some trade. Okay, yo. I knew something was off. The music's not here. Trolling. Oh, they had buybacks today. Saw Mob or MOB moving, and I remember something happened a few weeks ago, and I thought we could use it as a resistance play if it does pop up, but that's only, if it keeps going. Buybacks are cool sometimes. This never came up. Oh, that's what it was. ONCS. 2.82. $24 million. We're at 2.2 right now. SSR healthcare stock, 5-cent borrows, $2 stock. Microfloat, biotech. No recent news, but still biotech. Downtrending chart, 24 million resistance. Needs to go up about, what is 180 on a dollar? Yeah, it needs to go up 180% until it hits that light resistance. And at that point, it still won't be over $3, which is, I kind of want to see the intraday for that. Meantime, what do I want to see with this? Oh yeah, I want to see if these consolidations. Three months should be fine. All right, here we go. So here's the consolidation on OKYO. If this one goes back up to like 5, it might be a trade. We're at 2 right now, so probably not. It's also microfloat. Same thing with ONCS. Microfloat. Here is the intraday of that resistance, and it's really widespread, like from 4 in the pre-market to like pretty much 4 intraday, all the way to 2.85. There's no actual large consolidations, but you could use like 3.5 as a good area to go off of, because there's a close there and it's really close to a open. I did that backwards, but yeah, that's where I'm going with this. But the first thing they have to get through would kind of be $3, probably closer to 310. The volume is closer to the beginning of that day and the end of that day, so it kind of brings us right back to 3.5, more likely. But yeah, 3.5 would be better than using that 2.8, because no one's going to be afraid on the daily candle of that 2.85. So what I'm trying to say is this stock has to go up over 200% from the close, 250%, which, if we're already over 200%, I want to say 240%, because that's like one of my microfloat borderline gambling statistics I like to go for, especially on a healthcare stock. And, if there's a resistance, I'll go for it. But I'm doing mine at 3. Right now, the borrows are at like 5 cents. And I don't think it's worth it until this shows it has the strength to go up to that point, especially on no news. Now that's my ultimatum. And that one makes me feel a lot better that I saw the intraday resistance. So I'd go in at like 3.5. And it'd be a morning edge only kind of play. And I'd be decisive going into strength around 3.5. Sup, homie? Man, what are you talking about? This penny trash. I come back from an isolation fast for a month, and you breaking your rules and talking about stuff under $2.50. You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I have rules. I have new rules. Then I have one more trade this week. So yeah, I could just let this pass. I should just let this pass and wait for something else to pop up. But I feel the pressure of not knowing if there's going to be another opportunity in the next day or the next month. So I'm just like, ooh, pretty, shiny, Mr. Steal Your Girl, give me that stock. Like, I don't know what else to call it. Yeah. Now, if Lion goes up, let's say the 50, I wouldn't know how to gauge that. Like, even after it hit like a dollar block and went, yeah, unless that went parabolic, I wouldn't know how to touch that one unless I treat it like OCT. No, GCT. LOL, bro, ignore it. It's noise. You're right. I'm so out of tune right now. I can't tell which phase in the market cycle we are in. For the most part. Yeah, hopefully something else pops up. If not, I think I'm gonna dip at like 925. All right, so I got your question about the oil guy. I have a lot of chats from like 2020. Yeah, from 2020. I just don't know if you're talking about him in the Freedom Challenge or in the main chat room. I see you talking a lot about it. Wait. Yeah, but when I use like keywords like, you know, I made money, oil, and stuff like that, everything that comes up is those oil sectors that were like extremely hot. And there's more people saying they got burned than anything. Oh, yeah, I'll do that later. What's it doing? SRGA. Nah. No volume. This is something else I was talking about. Here's one of Dux's homies. One of the red names. Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, it should be Topher. If we're talking 2 years ago. Yeah, be Topher. I wanted to know how long he's been trading for. Don't know. Yeah, don't know exactly, at least. But I think it was longer than Steven. Like he has his own no, he started in like 2018, right? But he was like a finance major. No, I have to remember, like, since they all have their own Clark Kent and secret identity and stuff like that, I have to remember if this is the right person. Let me go to, how do I get this off? There we go. Okay, yeah. I want to say at least at least 2018. I know he had something to do with the market before. I worked with like managers and stuff like before that. He did a conference with Steven, not conference, but mastermind with him a while back. I met him in person. Yeah, when I put in the, what do you call that? When I put in the chat and like I see like the history all the way back to like 2020, everybody thought Topher was actually Jimmy. Yeah, they only used him for his stats. What? I don't even know how to make fun of that, like without being offensive. Yeah, but yeah, at least you got the name. Okay, let's see. How long has he been trading? Have you heard anything about treasury yields right now? When it comes to the macro market, I feel like it was throwing off my penny stocks more than I normally throw off my penny stocks. So I just, I didn't ignore it, but I only look at people that give me a brief idea of what's going on now. Like top 3 people. But when it comes to the yields, no, I just look at what they're going to do in like a rough idea about rate hikes. And you know how that correlates with the yields. But other than that, yeah, nothing deep or in depth. Just completed my research statistics. Okay, so you just completed your research on bounce short and you saw no correlation between resistance activation or activation at all. Okay, the way I was told was it always partially activates, like 30% in the morning. And you know how when like borrows and float and everything is available, only a fraction of that is supposed to be like available in the morning anyway. And then when the market opens over time, that's where other stuff comes in. I thought the resistance was the same way. So it takes time to like activate. And if you have something super overwhelming and you understand that only like 10% of like the borrows for the entire float are actually available and stuff like that, all those small details on the percentage of like 10% float that's available in the morning, then that increases a little bit. And then the 30% activation on that resistance, like the first test and things like that, that starts to activate like over time. And it was another thing. Plus something else, like those all align at the right time. And then that what brings down the stock. Yeah, it goes somewhere in that kind of ballpark. But with your research, you know, you could have probably been seeing all kinds of different types of resistances, like sizes, shapes, and you'd be looking at the daily primarily. In intraday, you probably saw consolidations at different levels in terms of like upper threshold, like 1/3, lower threshold, middle, things like that. It does look like there's no correlation with some of them, especially if there's like a really tight consolidation. Because some of those, it just completely ignores it. And we saw evidence of that like a few weeks ago where, you know, it had like 50 plus million and extremely tight, like within 10 cents of the stock price kind of consolidation, completely ignored it for a bit. I'm talking about HPCO. And there was another one before that, but you know, at the end of the day, good job doing your research, because it's going to help you with your thesis and create your own rules. Okay, so he may not even know. It's hard to explain here, but the last time 4-week treasury yields in these levels was 2006, 2007. I already came to the conclusion that no matter what analysis on how weak we're doing right now, they could still be like crooked, not talk about pivot or a soft landing, but something's going to save the market. I'm not talking like Apple's just going to come in and buy stuff, but I just feel like the market's going to be a lot stronger than before. Remember when we first made our thesis that everything's going to drop to like 380 by I forgot if it was like May or March. I think it was May 20th, and everything was super strong up to that point. Yeah, I think I learned my lesson not to make too many long positions like that. I talked with the guy and he was just like, if you can get away with it, Dontez, only trade 4 weeks of the year with options. So I think I'm gonna do something like that. But it was good information for the yields though. I've actually been told that it's worse than 2008. Or we're heading towards something like that. Yields equal earning. We have so much debt, we can't even afford the interest on the national debt. Guaranteed earnings backed by the Fed. Oh, the yields. Okay. Yeah. Now think about it. I think I took off. No, it's right there. Yeah, the year low in the bond market, HYG, is 70. That's supposed to be our bottom. Yeah. Well, other than that, in the penny stock world, don't see anything popping up right now. I'm gonna take a quick look in the FC to see if anybody's doing anything. Oh yes, they're having a tea party. I see a lot of good mornings and a few coffee cups. I can't tell if he's in a webinar or not. Trying to predict the day high using the resistance top or the consolidated area is not going to work. Yeah, whenever you try to predict the top or bottom, it's almost impossible. Like, you can look at like relative strength, because that's how that works. Relative volume incoming compared to the normal average on a day that doesn't have news and stuff like that. Any promotion, every sector has its own rhythm, and you can track stats for that rhythm. And if you throw a resistance into it, that puts it more into like everyone's head, like on the psychological stuff on the daily chart. So that's where you start doing highs and bottoms and tops like that. And you can kind of throw it all under a general umbrella. That's where the psychology patterns are coming from. But high, but if you're trying to predict the day of high, the consolidated area, like using the consolidated area, you've seen me, Steven, and probably some other people do it a few times. At least with stats, you have a window to shoot for. Like when you have that consolidation, you know, if it's hefty and scary enough, it's just going to hit it like a wall. If it's something that can be penetrated or gap through, it's going to act like a magnet on the way back. There's certain speeds at which it goes through that you're like, okay, this is going to be a full break. Like even topping patterns and bottoming patterns, like up to that point, testing that area. You can tell it's going to do like a full breakout, like a double or triple from that area. Yeah, but just using resistance and consolidation, it's kind of hard. Like, I feel like you'd have to track over like 500 to get even a good idea. And it also matters about, like, they're all from different sectors and different market caps and float. Like, there's, yeah, it's pretty much no correlation, like what you're talking about. But the market is here to train you to be selective, is what I want to say. Now, I don't see anything popping up, and I see Lion. It hasn't moved very much. It's been going down. I know we had a stock the other day that went up to 30, pulled back to like 14, went to 18. It was LUNR, I think. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, scratch that thought. I feel like it was another one. Yeah, I just want to see if it could run. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Yeah. Let me finish reading. Traders aren't trading penny stocks. Big money doesn't have the risk on small caps because small caps haven't created enough IPOs the past 3 years. It's just math. Traders are in the large cap world because that's where the money's at. Anyways, homies, much love. Be safe. Later, Ben. It's always fun when Ben comes around. You don't know what he's gonna say, but I always imagine him with like a test tube and like some glasses and stuff. Like, and they go just like random things on his channel. Speaking of that, like and subscribe. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I remember. Dave said something about bad stats don't necessarily mean crash is necessary. Yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, everything in the stock market is about probabilities. RRJB. Yeah, everything's about probabilities. And you're only supposed to RRJB. You're only supposed to be disciplined enough to try something and put a stop, because that's how the probabilities work. Without that kind of foundation, it's going to be hard to even find any kind of consistency. Stats are there just to act as a crutch to, make you feel like something to give you confidence, like confidence that spans over a long horizon, like time horizon. Like if you're going to do this for 10 years, 20 years, however long the bull market and stuff lasts. Oh, make a wish. Yeah, but okay, so we got a new partnership. Low float, small cap. I do like Red Robin. I think I had a Red Robin. Yum. No, I think I like Red Lobster. I don't know if I've been to Red Robin. I think I have one time, but that probably says something. But the main thing is this something that may turn out to be something later? Make-A-Wish Foundation. I want to see how big that. I want to see how big that is. Oh no, this has a long way to go. Yeah, but what's it doing? Okay, yo. Make-A-Wish Foundation. Looks like we have nothing to trade for now. Okay.
Rejected.
I didn't want to be here anyway. Make a wish foundation. Yeah. Not what I wanted. I should have it in here. Okay. It's probably an exclusive contract. They're talking about every 10 cents on the dollar they're willing to donate. Now think about it. If it's a charity, I don't think they'll have a consistent income like that to be able to put on some stuff. Okay, so they pledged 3 million and then they pledged to donate 10 cents on the dollar for something. Or for kids' meals. Nothing about critical illness. Okay, I'm trying to give like a very rough is this enough news to speculate? I don't think so. I do want to so we were talking about this one having resistance that's kind of worthy for micro float ish if it just like all in one candle went up to like 3.5. But outside of that, if it didn't happen in the first 30 minutes, nope, because it's a micro float. We're not trying to mess up on those, so this is technically a no trade for me. Okay, yo, kind of similar boat, except it has to go up to like 5. So it also micro float, so no trade for me. Lion, I just really want this one to pop off, and I don't think that's gonna happen. It just has such little volume. But a part of me is just like, maybe I could just throw $100 in there, and then by the end of the day, this goes to 100. But I wouldn't be smart either. You know, max I lose $200, and I could save the trade by covering it tomorrow, which, you know, that'd be responsible. Because if it did go back to 6, I'd lose like 60, maybe 70% of that 200. Leave me with, you know, like 150 loss, but the potential gain would have been like, you know, if it went to where I thought it was going to go, you know, like 700. So about like a 5 to 1. Okay, that's not 5. Okay, like at least a 3 to 1. But I think Ben raised an interesting question. Why did you pick penny stocks instead of large cap stocks? That's kind of easy. So penny stocks, OTCs, and you know, just illiquid stocks in general, they're very volatile, and when you have investments and stuff in large caps, it moves really slow. They have their actual legit fundamentals, and because of that, you can speculate using news on those stocks, like just news and fundamentals and evaluating value for the company. And you can kind of, you know, branch off in that area too. You can be specific commodities, specific oil, specific, what do you call those? Specific, it's like a basket of companies. You do all kinds of speculation on the large caps. or you can, just go specifically under a certain sector or type of it's like tech industry. Then there's like other stuff. The main thing is all of it moves really slow, and the only people that make money on that are the peoples that go for capital gains, meaning you have to wait a whole year and things like that. And I'm not about that. I'd rather get the quick profit and then just pay the big tax at the end of the year and, go from there. But the main thing is, the person that introduced us into the industry, this is where you like started. So it's kind of hard to branch off into other stuff unless you get another person to introduce you into that, other than like your self research. And the thing is, it's not like we didn't try large caps before. It's just that's where you start getting into like minimum 3 months to make any real money, unless you're doing a first you have to define what large cap is. Like when you say large cap, I'm thinking like minimum like 10 billion plus, probably even more than that, because small cap stops at like 300 million. If you're talking like mid caps, like that goes into the billions. So above that, you're talking legit companies, and they're not as much reward, like volatility. Like here we can get an easy 20% in a day. Like worst case, we can get it in like a week. But in the large cap, you won't even get that 20% like after months. And it's not even technically safer. There are some strategies you could, just wait at the bottom and for it to accumulate, forget about it, because that's what usually happens if it's not being managed by someone. They put something in there, they understand the fundamentals or the long term, they forget about it, they come back and pick it up, and if it pick it up within the year, like at the end of the day, it's opportunity cost. So I'd rather be down here with the penny stock people, because it was another person, I think it was my uncle. He told me that the people in penny stocks are kind of stupid. Like, not stupid, but it's a lot simpler than playing the kind of game that the large caps play. But at the end of the day, that's someone talking about the market that's not in the market. They're just talking about what they heard and experienced over like 50, 60 years, which, it has its weight. But if you're not in the world, it's kind of hard to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've heard all kinds of stuff about large caps and how, even particular people in recessions, or that went through several recessions and stuff like that, they have all these strategies, but a lot of people are kind of full of it. So at least in penny stocks, you have to be honest about this if you want to have any type of success, and it's hard to get around math. Yeah, I'm okay with the penny stocks. You know what I'm saying? ONCS gapping up. How'd your CDIO trade go yesterday? It was pretty good. I got 12, almost 13%. If I top tick, bottom tick, which was impossible since I was in the pre-market, I would have got max 25%. So I got half of the reward yesterday, but it's a win. It's a decent size one. So I was a little sad that it didn't break down even more like I thought it would. But in terms of like my trading for it, I don't think I could have did any better other than trying to guess the top, which I kind of did, but I didn't pull the trigger like at 4 or when it went back up to like 370. But I'm still okay with that too. Like I reapplied some of my scaling techniques, because whenever I'm in the trade very early, it helps me get in tune with like how strong the stock can be. So that was pretty fun. Oh, also another thing, like if you look down here, this alarm manager, like I was chasing the current price. So wherever I was, since I had other stuff to do, I would just be like, okay, I'm gonna box it in this like 10 cents right here, because they'll be stuck in a consolidation. The consolidation would be about like 7 cents. So I'll expand it to about like 8 cents. And I'm like, okay, I don't know which way you're going to break, but let me just box this in, one up, one down. Now you break down, I'll look at you. You break up, I'll set a wider risk, or I'll think about taking profits off. Yesterday I had 1,800 shares, was taking off 300, taking off 300, taking off 600, all out. And it was all based off of, current action. Like by this time you should have broke already. By this time, you should have consolidated already. With this volume, this is how many back orders are here. So I feel more confident to hold this amount. Okay, that amount and that thesis out of the window, because it's this time o'clock, and that's how that goes. What was it doing? In RDY. All right, I don't see anything popping up. I think people do. Yeah, you could do that, but we go back to the same idea. You have to have money to do that. The people that do those scalps, they risk like 1%, and they'll do it with like an account minimum 100K, and so they'll spend, like, you can do normal support and resistance stuff up there, like the stats that Steven tracks. Some people track that for their large caps. Like he gets asked all the time, especially during conferences when they're like not in the Freedom Challenge. And they always confirm that if he ever wanted to get into that stuff, his stuff works up there. But I'm pretty sure they already have some type of strategy, and they just used like some of his stuff and they added it to theirs. You know, that's how all this stuff works. But at the end of the day, you said it, they're scalping strategies, and you're still going to have to pay like a huge tax at the end of the year. And you have to get really good at scalping. And if you do large caps, your mindset is going to be completely different than the mindset you need for penny stocks, where you're looking for like 20% to like almost up to 70% gains, like where you're going to have to weather like great risk management, lots of volatility. And it goes back into that. If you have a deep thinker sit in front of the screen looking at quick movements on price action, they're going to overreact. You do the opposite. You have a quick thinker looking at like looking in deep thought. He's going to overanalyze, and he's going to like make a bad decision. Those are the difference between like the penny stocks and the large caps. Is like one's a deep thinker. He's a hedge fund manager and things like that. Or he's an algo, and they're just trying to get those quick moves, and those add up over time. But you have to remember there's fees. Well, there's fees for both, but like they're just two completely different worlds. And if you try to mix them or do them at the same time, you have to first completely learn one and then learn the other to find any kind of progress in it. That's what I'm trying to say. What was I saying? Yeah, because like when I went into options, we were kind of having that problem too. Like as soon as you start looking at more large caps, you start forgetting / giving mixed signals to yourself for your penny stock. So yeah, you can go for it, but if I did do anything like that, I'd wait till I'm in a different stage in life where I have enough experience in one before I jump on another. But that's my 2 cents on it. But all right, guys, I am going to head out. I don't see anything tradable for now. And yeah, I think I talked about me boxing important levels on the chart. So that's another way you can do passive trading, or like monitor your trade after it's kind of in a safe space. Before that, you don't want to leave the computer. But with that, you can at least change screens while feeling some type of security and write an essay. But all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Be safe. Peace. Like and subscribe.